An overpowered protagonist whose return to a post-apocalyptic Earth promises a blend of cultivation, strategy, and epic battles. The 9 heavens trembled, rainbow-colored lightning spreading, constantly attempting to destroy my body with each strike. Primordial essence flowed through my body as I stared at the cosmos that the 9 heavens' colorful layer of clouds hid from all of us, even immortals. My ascension was only halfway through, but I was already beginning to feel the accumulated damage. Heaven's will was not happy with what I was trying to do. Its endless power surged across the 9 heavens, constantly attempting to interrupt my transformation, my evolution, and the breaking of my chains. The damned chains of fate that have kept me enclosed in this horrid world for thousands of years, where might makes right. People called it by many names, but the most common name its inhabitants gave it was Murim, a world of martial arts, immemorial treasures, myth and legends, as well as a world of bloodshed, ruthlessness, and endless battles for supremacy. Rumble. More lightning strikes struck me. My primordial 9 heaven protection was slowly beginning to weaken, a special immortal technique I refined using the fragments that fell from the 9 heavens in the mythical era of this world's creation. Crack, crack. The rainbow-colored barrier of light began to slowly gain cracks, slowly starting to shatter into pieces. My primordial essence was also dwindling. I'd been doing this for a year now, yet it felt like only minutes had passed. Not even with the 9 heaven protection will I be able to ascend. Heaven's will. How many years will you have to torment me? As if responding to my words, the 9 heavens started to swirl around. The large crack in the spatial pillars I had made was beginning to slowly close. The cosmic energy coming from it, bathing my body and allowing me to slowly refine my primordial essence core, was beginning to disappear. Without it, I won't be able to ascend into an immemorial void. Stop. With a mighty roar, I unleashed my techniques, which I've saved until this very moment. Countless colors appeared around me, dancing as beautiful butterflies reached the skies, immediately exploding into swirling storms of primordial essence. The 9 heavens were affected, slowly beginning to weaken. At the same time, I unsheathed my sword, one divided into black and white colors, glowing with the power of the primordial essence of yin and yang. This was a sword I forged using the body and soul of the divine harmony venerable, whom I felled 100 years ago. That damned old man was a tough nut to crack. Har! With a roar that reverberated across the heavens and the entirety of Murim, I swung my sword with all my strength. A wave of black and white energy was unleashed, splitting the 9 heavens again. An explosion of bright and tenebrous essences engulfed it all. The world's will was furious, and I had finally attained the power to go against it. But even then, I vomited blood. My dantians were struggling to keep up with all the energy I was forcing myself to absorb from the cosmos above. I always knew this was going to be a painful and agonizing process, but it seems that even after all my calculations, it was still a gamble, a desperate gamble to escape from this world. In a world that had me trapped in an endless cycle of death, bloodshed, and destruction for over 10,000 years, I've lived so long that I can barely remember who I used to be before I landed in this world. I don't even remember the face of my mother or of my little sister, not even the name of my father. All these memories that this world was slowly taking away from me made me so mad. I wasn't from here, and I tried so hard to fight and survive. And even after reaching the pinnacle, you dare oppose me. After everything I've done, after all the things I've accomplished, wasn't this what you wanted me to do? Wasn't this the reason you dragged me here? Heaven's will. Show yourself. Speak to me. Despite how old I was, I couldn't help but feel a surge of emotions, perhaps the first ones in thousands of years. Tears fell from my eyes. Very well. Suddenly, a heavenly voice spoke, a mix between a female and male voice, but not one. It felt like thousands or millions of people speaking at the same time. Their 9 heavens swirled together, their essences combining into a materialization of pure primordial essence of the highest and most refined grade, heavenly essence. A humanoid figure appeared, resembling a god made of stars and rainbow light. It looked down on me with its bright, shining eyes. It had no mouth, no nose, or anything else but bright eyes that could see it all. So you finally show yourself. I smirked, blood still coming from my mouth. The legends of the ancient venerables describing their heavens will embodiment were true all along. Bing Shui, or should I call you Catherine? The heavens will embodiment spoke. You have indeed worked hard. You're the first person in this entire world to reach the pinnacle of pinnacles. Yet you still desire more. I've offered you a life full of excitement and power, yet you desire to leave me now. What is this bastard talking about? Leave them. You, I muttered with a disgusted face. What are you? I am Heaven's will, and I am also someone who has fallen for you, my dear Bing Shui. The entity muttered. I don't want you to go. You're my everything, powerful, mighty, domineering, yet full of beautiful, delicate emotions inside. A beautiful rose that protects her beautiful interior with sharp thorns. What is there not to love here? Since you were dragged here by a spatial disturbance that I've been observing you all this time, I've gained a greater consciousness by comprehending the struggles and emotions of someone. I might no longer be just the embodiment of the world's will. All thanks to you. You sick fucking thing. I spoke with disgust. I'm not into primordial cosmic monsters. I like girls. You know, I can be a girl. I can be anything you want. So please, Bing Shui. The very reason I have not killed you yet is because you're precious to me. Come to me, let us assimilate one another. brother, I will give you the privilege of ascending into a heavenly will. We will be together forever. No more struggles, no more pain for you. Isn't that what you desire the most? The heavens will ask, spreading their bulky arms. So this whole time, the heavenly will was in love with me. What sort of sick fucking plot twist is this? All my efforts, all the fights, and all the friends I've lost, all because of some sick bastard that loved me. I won't accept this. No, I reject your offer. Heavens will. I spoke, channeling all my power at once, as I directed my eyes into the crack in the spatial pillars. I won't let anybody chain me down anymore. I am free, and I will die with my freedom. I always hated you. Do you truly believe I will ever accept you? I would rather die. So that is your decision. The heavens will. Embodiment nodded. Then I will simply have to forcefully extract your immortal soul and devour it. You will become one with me, like many others. So the reason they have so many voices is because of their souls. This monster. This isn't the will of heaven. This is just an aberrant monstrosity. I won't let you. I flew towards them with all my strength and power. My primordial essence rapidly coursed through every immortal dantian of my body. My primordial core shone brightly with gold light. My primordial 9-heaven technique encompassed my body into a rainbow-colored dragon armor as I swung my sword. A storm of attacks was unleashed, and the heavens will embodiment was cut down to pieces in an instant. Exploding with rainbow flames, I quickly flew upwards, only to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 more of them. You can't escape. I won't let you escape. Come back, my precious Bing Shui. No, I spun in midair. Waves of rainbow divine essence were unleashed, explosions of colorful flames engulfing them as the heavens reverberated more. The skies cracked. The cosmic gate I had opened to absorb cosmic energy was my only way out. I had not used it before because I knew I would definitely die. But now, I had to gamble and see if that was really true. Even if it is minuscule, there could be a chance to get me out of here alive. And even then, I would rather die trying than stay with this creep. You're not going anywhere, Bing Shui. You're mine. Gigantic hands made of rainbow clouds caught me in midair, dragging me down. Beams of light rushed down towards me, piercing through my armor and shattering it with each impact. I gritted my teeth as I forced my way upward, kicking the sky below me until cracks appeared in space and time. I don't belong to anybody. I slashed my way through. Heavens will tore apart my armor and then grabbed my legs, which, as I flew upwards, were quickly torn from my own body. The pain was the least of my worries. I kept flying upwards, faster and faster. Don't go. The cries of heavens will continued reverberating as I stretched my arms upward. His candless hands tore my body to shreds, yet my torso and my head managed to reach the portal, a sea of stars greeting me. I triggered a martial Dao technique left in my heart as my body slowly regenerated. Goodbye, motherfucker. With my newly regenerated legs, I kicked his face and then leaped into the unknown. I could hear his screams filled with frustration. His power could no longer extend out of Mirim. I couldn't breathe now, and only an endless, encompassing coldness started covering my body. I floated in an endless sea of stars, my energy slowly decreasing. Har har har. So this is freedom. My life force began to dwindle as I tried to resist my attempts to cultivate the cosmic energy here, but it didn't work properly, only destroying my internal organs in the process of assimilation. I had not reached the immemorial void realm, so surviving in the cosmos was impossible. I was going to die. Yet, I couldn't help but feel so happy. I was finally free from all the bloodshed, from all the pain, from that monster, from everything. Although I was dying happily, I still wished for one thing. I wish I could see my family again. Rumble. As my eyes were slowly closing, I noticed something within the endless cosmos, a spiraling mass of chaos. Slowly, my body was dragged inside, twisting and trespassing through countless dimensional membranes. I fell unconscious before I could even comprehend what was happening. I dreamed of coming back with my family and finally meeting them again. I couldn't remember their faces, so they were faceless, but they were there. They greeted me with hugs and kisses, and I hugged them back. I thought I could finally go back to those times, but I knew deep down that I was dreaming, perhaps the last dream before my death. Yet, I wish it could last a bit longer. Hey, miss, are you alright? Voices started speaking to me. Perhaps I was hallucinating, remembering my past when I was weak and pathetic, running away from danger while hiding like a rat. It took me 10 whole years to finally begin cultivating when I appeared in Mirim out of nowhere. Most of the first 10 years were spent trying to live normally, yet I was always caught in danger. It's dangerous to sleep in the middle of the streets, you know. It was a harsh life, but I never gave up. I tried to sell all kinds of things. I even started a small farm of mystic grass that could recover some key energy when processed into pills, anything to get by. I never sold my body, and I always kept fighting, even against a world mostly dominated by men. This is bad. Should I call the ambulance? That damned voice, can't it let me have my monologue in peace? What do you want? Leave me alone already. War. Suddenly, as I opened my eyes, I found myself in an alleyway. Right in front of me, there was an old, homeless-looking man who had fallen to the floor in shock as I screamed at him. Huh. I looked at myself. I was alive and fine. My clothes were slightly torn down but were beginning to regenerate thanks to their natural self-repair abilities. What happened? Is this another dream? Hey, you, the mortal over there. What's your name? I don't remember ever meeting you. Huh. Hey, I am Jose. I was just looking at the trash, like every day, and you appeared out of nowhere. I was shocked, so I tried to help. Sorry, I didn't intend anything else, I swear. He cried. Don't call the cops on me, please. HMPH. I looked into his eyes. My eyes shone with some immortal essence as I activated the 9-colored all-seeing eyes. It could detect lies and see through all the information. And indeed, he was telling the truth. He was an honest man. I see. Well, sorry for startling you. Can you stand up? I offered him my hand. I wasn't going to hurt an innocent mortal. I wasn't a demonic cultivator. In fact, I killed most of them. Why yes, thank you. Damn, you sure are tall, Missy. He looked up at me. You're like, over 2 meters. No, almost 3 meters tall. Well, it comes with cultivating my physique for the immortal realm. I used to be a rather small girl. Wait a moment. I quickly grabbed the man's clothes, lifting him. Are you some sort of nightmare demon that trapped me inside his domain? What? No, I'm not that. The man cried. Are you an awakened person, miss? You're so strong. I let him go once I realized he was telling the truth. So this is reality. This is not a dream. I looked around in utter disbelief, my eyes detecting everything as the truth. It was reality. It existed. After dreaming of these streets, of these blue skies, of these tall buildings, and of these cars for thousands of years, I was finally back. I'm back. I'm back. I muttered in disbelief, tears flowing from my eyes. I'm finally back. I'm back. As I cried and laughed, I lifted little Jose with my arms and celebrated. He was shocked and crying out of horror, but I ignored that. Ha 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 ha. I'm back. Thank you so much, mortal. I will never forget your act of kindness. I owe you a favor. I smiled at him, offering him a gold coin. This is an immemorial gold coin. It probably costs something, right? Buy yourself some food with it. Is this a gold coin? Thanks. He almost stole it off my hands. He seemed quite desperate. I left the old man behind as I leaped onto the nearest building's rooftop, admiring the city around me. It was not just a simple city. This enormous, slightly ugly city was full of shitty people. This was in New York. I was back home. Did I somehow get teleported back to Earth through that black hole that swallowed me? I wondered to myself, admiring the modern city and the bright sun bathing my body. My power. It has certainly weakened after that fight against heaven's will and then going through that black hole. Maybe I lost around 30% of my total strength and almost all my primordial essence. I will need to recover more. Wait, no, that doesn't matter right now. I need to see what year it is. I quickly leaped back to Jose, who was ruminating through the trash. Jose, I called him. Uwar. The crazy woman again. I mean, yes. He cried. I will ignore that remark for now, I said with a stern voice. Tell me, what year is it? I remember leaving when it was roughly 2013. It is the year 2024. Why? He wondered. So I've been away for 11 years only. But it was almost 11,000 years in Miram. I gasped. So that world had such a huge time difference with Earth. No, wait, it's still a lot. Over a decade has passed. My little sister must be an adult now, and my mother. I need to go back home. Thank you, mortal Jose. I will be leaving now. If you ever want your favor repaid, just call me and I will come to your aid. Yes, the gray-bearded old man stared in disbelief as I stepped into mid-air and ran through the skies at lightning speed. Even without any primordial essence, I still had immortal essence and key energy in near-infinite quantities. I simply had to refine it back into primordial essence later. If I remember correctly, my house was a department we were paying for together with Mom, around York Avenue, a white building. I looked around as I reached York Avenue, noticing that most old buildings were gone. New ones had been built. I also noticed that there was a huge building called Hunters Association for some reason, but I decided to ignore that for now. There it is. Thanks to the heavens. No, wait, I shouldn't say that anymore. Thank God it's not gone. I flew into the white building, noticing most of the surrounding ones had been rebuilt. There was some sort of catastrophe here in the past. Something must have happened. Does it have anything to do with the strange Hunter Association and the walls surrounding New York? Apartment number 16, right? As I flew around, old memories started blossoming in my mind. My smile only got wider as I reached apartment 16 and knocked on the door gently. Someone slowly came to open it. A young man. Who is this guy? A cosplayer? Yes. Do you need something? He wondered, looking at my attire with strange looks and raising an eyebrow. Cosplayer? How dare a mortal call me that? These clothes have been made by sewing the immemorial heavenly dew silk extracted from the moonless heavenly void silkworm. I roared. Who are you, though? Are you related to my mother and my little sister? Do the names, Ruby and Elena, ring any bells? Ruby's my girlfriend. Wait, are you one of her freak friends? He wondered. She's home. Let me call for her. I'm not her freak friend. I am her damned older sister. Move aside. I've had enough of you. Mortals should simply bow down to immortals the moment they see them. I slammed the man away as he fell to the floor and groaned in pain. He was fine, just a drama queen. Stop crying. I am fairly sure I broke no bones. I am a gentle lady. I smiled back at him. Wait, where are you going? You said you're Ruby's sister. There's no way. Her sister died in an accident like 10 years ago. I ignored him. I was clearly alive. I opened the door to my sister's room, finding her awake, her eyes widening in shock. Her long black hair, her cute blue eyes, and her baby face. She had grown and developed more, but it was still my little sister Ruby. The last time time I saw her, she was barely 14, but now she must be around 25, right? Ruby, your big sister is finally back home. I spread my arms, waiting for her hug. Come to big sis. Uwar. Get away from here, you thief. Juan, call the police. I guess it's fair she didn't recognize me at first. I've gone through almost 11,000 years worth of aging, de-aging, and body transformation. Chapter 2, Family Time. Ruby, why are you screaming this early in the morning? My mother suddenly stepped in as she saw me and Ruby, her eyes widening. K. Catherine, it's you? Unlike my sister, my mother immediately recognized me. Amazing. A mother's ability to discern their children is unparalleled, even among the 9 heavens. Mother, I cried, running to hug her. With her short black hair and her tired-looking green eyes, she was the same as ever. The mother who raised us after our father died all on her own, working in everything she could. Am I dreaming right now? Is this another of those nightmares I always have? She muttered in disbelief, accepting my hug. My Catherine, no, this can't be. Why you disappeared 10 years ago? Where have you been? Why are you so different? Girl, and what are these clothes? Were you living in China all this time? As she cried, she started to grab my face and stretch my cheeks. A lot happened, Mother. I disappeared because I was sent to another world. I cried. I was there for approximately 11,000 years. I've changed too much, but I never forget my roots, and in all this fighting, you were always in my heart. You and Ruby, always. I found that there was no point in hiding where I came from. What are you even talking about? Maybe the awakening event made your brain turn to mush. She checked my head. My little girl, even after you said all that nonsense, I'm so happy you're back. You don't know how long I've been waiting for you to return. I never lost hope, never. She's really Catherine, but I remember she was so small, like almost my size back then. How come she got so tall and looked like a model? Ruby cried. Is it really you? It is me, of course, Ruby. Let me prove it to you. I smiled. Remember that time when you lost your teddy bear and cried for 3 days, only for me to end up finding it right below your bed? Or that time you pissed yourself and tried to frame the dog for covering the bed with piss? Or that other time when you tried making me pancakes for my birthday, but you burned them and I still ate them with a lot of syrup? Or, okay, it's you, she nodded, gulping saliva. Be big sis. She was slowly trying to process everything, unlike Mom, who accepted it very quickly. Holy shit, you're alive. It has been 11 fucking years, you know. I know. I'm sorry. I sighed. Catherine, she started crying, standing up and hugging me as well. It's really you, aren't you? It's really you, big sis. Yes, it's me, my dear. I smiled as my mother and my sister hugged me. They were much smaller than me. I was almost half a meter taller than them, so I could easily embrace them both with my longer arms. Everything is okay. But your hair and your face, Ruby said. Why is your hair silvery white now? And your eyes are gold colored? Or rainbow? I can't tell. They keep shifting. Did you have some surgeries to look pretty? What have you been working on since you left? My mother asked me in horror. Don't tell me you became a mother. Of course not. I facepalmed. I have changed because I cultivated my body. These eyes were stolen from the 7 Rainbow Rivers Immortal Venerable. That damn bastard never expected me to set a blossoming volcanic rose bomb inside his immortal realm. Har har har. And this hair? Well, it changed color once my physique changed. What? Ruby and my mother were confused. So do I call the cops or? Juan was holding a phone outside the room. No, don't call the cops. Juan, my mother sighed. Can you prepare us some coffee? There's a lot we need to talk with this young lady over here. Yeah, you're completely nuts, Ruby said. You better tell us the truth now. We were too worried for you to bullshit us with stuff like this. I know there are dungeons, monsters, and a system now, but even that is more realistic than what you're telling us. Dungeons, monsters, system. What are you talking about? Oh, so that's the strange energy I felt permeating the world for a while. Huh, I wondered, rubbing my chin. And those annoying things in the sky are glaring at us too. Are they aliens? Did they make the system? Things in the sky, my mother asked. Catherine, you mean, you can see the gods watching us? Gods? I raised an eyebrow. Wait, what's that? I hadn't noticed before, but there was a huge tower in the background of the city, right outside of the city. I was so focused on finding my family that I never paid attention to it. That's the tower, my sister sighed. It is where players go. You seem to have no idea about anything, dear. What happened to you? Do you have amnesia? My mother asked. Earth was not like this before. What happened here? Why are there magic and dungeons now? And monsters? Why? Who dares do this to my world? Who dares bring destruction and an apocalypse? Gods? Towers? Dungeons? I suppose my journey is not over yet. Thankfully, I have not lost all my power. I'll refine everything and kill all the gods. Maybe that way, Earth will be freed or something. Worth a try. Okay, there's way too much to process. Let's sit down and talk. My mother said, it has been years, honey, but do you still like your coffee with 2 spoons of sugar? Yes, I nodded, feeling at ease despite the changes, as I sat down. The atmosphere of my family and the smell of my house, my sister, and my mother are here. And, Juan, why is he still here? Can't he leave? Hey, you're no longer needed in this house, mortal. Leave this instant. I shall now provide for my family in your stead. I said, I'm thankful you took care of them, but I don't want to see your face here ever again. Hey, I know you're Ruby's sister, but that's overly rude. I'm her boyfriend. I can't stay. He cried pathetically. Worm, I've had enough patience. Leave Leave before I crush you. I stood up, my immortal aura surging endlessly from my body, resembling an endless pressure that made him fall to his knees. My patience has limits, and my mercy as well. AAGH. He could barely move before my pressure, and that was only a very small portion of it. Perhaps 0.0001%. What the? Catherine, are you awakened too? My mother asked. Let Juan go, please. He's a bit annoying, but he's a good kid. Hey, enough, Catherine. He's my boyfriend. Ruby angrily said. Leave him be. Oh, okay, sorry. I sighed, letting my powers run rampant, which was unbefitting of me. Maybe I need to calm down a bit. I am still on high alert after that fight against Heaven's will. I will try to tolerate him around, but I am not too fond of men taking advantage of women. He better work hard if he wants to earn my respect. Cough, cough. Just how strong are you? Only a rank awakeners can even release such a strong aura, muttered Juan. I'm barely F rank. A rank awakeners. I wondered, what are these weird ranks all about? We'll explain to you as we eat something. You look really tired. Honey, sit down and relax, please. My mother said, kissing me on the cheek. Okay, very well, but only because you're my mother. I nodded. I will take no orders from anybody else. As I sat down and enjoyed the bitter and nostalgic flavor of coffee, more memories I thought I had forgotten came back to me. We talked about the world and how it changed as I drank coffee and nodded in silence. My sister was preparing me pancakes. The smell was nice. I believe this time she wasn't going to burn them, luckily. So this happened 10 years ago, just after I disappeared. I said, I see. The tower. Is there only a single one in the entire world? Yes, we received a message when that thing appeared. It broke through half of New York as it surged from the depths of the earth. A voice told us that we needed to grow stronger and climb the tower's 100 floors if we wanted to protect our world from destruction. My mother said, the gods, who originally inhabited the tower as well, started spreading blessings and choosing people amongst the awakened who were able to assimilate mana into their bodies and unlock the system's status. I have one too. I'm a D-rank hunter. These gods, are they the creators of the tower? I wondered, squinting my eyes. We don't know where they came from or who made that tower. Ruby sighed. We only know that we need to climb the tower's floors, one floor a month. If we delay it, more dungeon gates will appear. In these 10 years, the tower has only advanced by 21 floors, and dungeon breaks are happening a lot lately. Have you noticed the new buildings all around? When one happens, a huge disaster appears, everything is destroyed, and monsters come out endlessly. It's horrible. Many people have died. We are lucky it hasn't happened to us yet. I won't let that ever happen to any of you, I said with a firm tone of voice. So to free this world, we need to climb that damn tower. Can anybody go? Only those who have awakened are allowed inside. My mother sighed. It's really quite a problem. I have only explored the first and second floors myself, which have a few permanent dungeons where monsters spawn. I hunt them and sell their carcasses and magic cores to their hunter association to gain money and maintain our family. Luckily, your sister just got her doctorate degree, so she's going to start working too. A doctor. It was what you always wanted to be, Ruby. I felt really happy. Yeah, it was hard, but I did it. She nodded. I always wanted to be a doctor because of my dad. If there had been a doctor nearby when that happened to him, he wouldn't have. Ruby, you don't need to think like that. My mother sighed, patting her shoulders. Father, I looked at the photo of him hanging on the wall. A bulky man with a short black beard, sharp blue eyes, and a gentle smile. Ruby, you pursue a very noble job. I remember meeting many doctors in Murim. They were inspiring people with similar goals and tremors as us. They wanted to save people because, back then, they were unable to save the ones they loved. They were all wonderful people, wonderful friends. Most of them have passed away, while I left some behind. I wonder if they are doing well. Sister, you look so serious when talking about that nonsense. My sister muttered. Hey, are you really saying the truth? The tower is an amalgamation of many different worlds fused together. Each floor is a different world. My mother said, maybe, it could truly be possible that she was sent to another world. Did you enter a gate, Catherine? I don't remember how it went, but there was a blue light that swallowed me. I nodded. Maybe she's like the lost people. Then, Juan asked, those people that get swallowed by dungeon gates and never return. But she returned, Ruby muttered. I smiled back at them gently. Of course I did. I would never leave my family behind, I said, eating the pancakes. So soft and sweet. My sister's pancakes are truly a delicacy of the 9 heavens, 7 continents, and 11 seas, 11,000 years. My mother looked into my eyes with pity. My dear Catherine, were you really that many years in another world? I was. I nodded, feeling slightly sorrowful. So much happened. But I'm so happy I am finally back. Let's not overthink things. There's a present at hand we need to take care of, isn't it? Yeah, I guess. Ruby nodded. You're too strong, though, big sis. You need to register as a hunter. Alright, if you don't want us to get into trouble. Unregistered hunters are usually seen as criminals. What? Such an unjust society. I said. Why? It is because the government needs to keep track of all of us. My mother said. After all, unregistered hunters are always people who become criminals and use their powers not to protect humanity but to bring destruction. I suppose that does make some sense. In the Heavenly Judgment Pavilion I led, we did something similar to control the creation creation of new demonic cultivators. I nodded. Well, anyways, I suppose I should. For the sake of it and because you asked me to. Can you lead me there once we are done eating breakfast? My dearest. Of course, we'll bring you there, big sis. I think you could even be an S-rank hunter. Holy sh**. My sister was amazed. It would be incredible. My mother was still processing it. But don't force yourself to fight if you don't want to. Catherine, if you were truly 11,000 years old in another world fighting every day, I want you to rest and relax for a bit, if possible. My world is in peril, and you ask me to relax. Mother, I sighed. I'm sorry, but I must refuse. This is the world where my precious family and the food I love come from, as well as where my father has been buried. There is no way I am giving it away. With that thought in mind, once breakfast was over, we moved to the big city. My mother and my sister talked to me a lot about the rules and other things hunters must follow. As I took mental notes on them, something happened. A strange crack in space spread out, opening up and revealing a spiraling purple-colored portal. Crack, crack, crash. No. A dungeon break. Run. Shit. Get out of my way. As the people panicked and ran away, creatures from within the portal crawled out. Green-skinned, with long ears and noses, and sharp, crimson-colored eyes, wearing bone armor and holding rusty weapons. Gry-hee-hee. Goblins. My sister cried. Stay behind, you two. I'll distract them until hunters arrive. My mother attempted to fight them, but I stopped her. So these are monsters. I wondered, patting my mother's shoulders. Worry not, mother. I will take care of them. I disappeared from the scene and swung my hand with a minuscule amount of immortal essence imbued into it. My movements resembled an endlessly flowing, golden river. Golden serpents flowing fist. The goblins that were touched by my gentle hands were immediately overflowing with energy and exploded into pieces, leaving a rather gross and bloody scene. Their screams of agony were quite entertaining to hear, and without realizing it, I started to smile a bit. And done. Oh my, did I overdo it? I realized I was standing over a pile of at least 50 of these goblins. People were staring in disbelief, and then I heard something weird in front of me as I felt a foreign energy entering my body, which I quickly decided to analyze and refine. It felt rather gentle and strong at the same time, but very different than ki energy. Could this be mana? Ding! You have absorbed mana into your body. Congratulations, you have awakened as a player. A status system has been created to error. Incomprehensible levels of strength detected. Error. Of course. Chapter 3, Folding the System. This system was both suspicious and very interesting to me. From what I can analyze already, it seems to be a powerful divine and magical construction fueled by the power of the tower itself and the gods that dominate it. This system feeds on the mana of the environment to fuel itself infinitely, and it apparently infiltrates the souls and bodies of people like parasites to extract information and mana from them and, in exchange, help them develop their internal mana into new supernatural abilities. I suppose this is what they call skills, right? Despite how curious I was, however, I would never let such a strange and suspicious thing get a hold of my soul. I have not lived 11,000 years inside of Murim to have my soul freely exposed. It is one of a cultivator's greatest weaknesses. Once you become immortal, losing limbs, or even your head, is no longer a problem. However, your soul is very important. It is the very root of your existence, and to lose it is to eternally and completely die. This is why I dedicated over 1,000 years to perfecting various immortal techniques to protect my soul against any soul attack possible. And I also refined it to achieve the primordial immemorial venerable realm, my current realm, which has been stuck at the highest stage for 500 years by now. So you are the famous system, huh? What an annoyance you are. Stop this at once. I won't let you enter my soul, you filthy magical construction. I swiped my hands as I crushed the system messages to a spiritual level, making them shatter. More error messages kept appearing, but I squeezed them with my immortal intent until they were reduced to a few, much smaller messages. Error. Incapable of fully assimilating with the target's soul. Requesting the assistance of an administrator. An administrator has agreed to appear and solve this issue. Hello, administrator number 1034 here. You can call me Clyde. What's your problem? So other beings are managing this. I wondered. How amusing. I have no problem. Your strange thing has been trying to parasitize my soul for a while now. If you continue with this, I will be forced to destroy it and perhaps kill you. Clyde, do you have anything to say in your favor? What? Wait a second, this isn't just some bug. Who are you? A being so powerful the system cannot assimilate. Oh my, you got a bit startled there. I swiftly touched the system window displaying Clyde's messages as I turned my hand into a mass of rainbow light. Primordial spiritual body arts photon injection. Zap! By spending a few amounts of immortal essence, I transformed my hand into pure photon energy, a special energy that I created through refining my element of light for thousands of years. It allows me to infiltrate most ethereal constructions and destroy them from the inside. It helped me destroy most immortal domains and invade demonic cultivators' inner realms. Arg! A zap of lightning reached the administrator, and the entire system message struggled to even keep themselves up, lightning and then disappearing constantly. Although I couldn't see him, I had my hands grasping whatever his body was. Now, Clyde, you will answer a few questions for me if you want to continue living. Of course, you are free to not answer either. We all have freedom of choice here. Naturally, that choice will also bring your death. I smiled gently at him. Monster. What are you, UGH? Tether High administrators need to dash. Zap. Arg. No more. Please stop. Stop. Okay, good. We are in a mutual understanding now, right? I spoke as I grabbed the head of a goblin to look at it. Then, I noticed the magic crystals inside their bodies, and with my divine intent, I extracted them all and stored most corpses inside my inner realm. Now tell me, what is this system? Who manages it? And who are you? And who is behind this whole apocalypse? I cannot answer that. Oh, was my light not bright enough? It's not that. Please wait. I am restricted. I cannot say these things to players or anybody below a certain level within the system. If I try, I receive penalties and they'll kill me anyway. They? Who's they? That's the hash. Oh, alright, yeah, they censor it. Huh. I am sorry. But who are you exactly? How come a normal human of that world that hasn't even been assimilated by the system is so strong? You could say that I trained very hard, Tilder. That doesn't make any sense. Clyde. Yes. Elaborate on the system if you can. Any information you can reveal would be appreciated. The system was created by them to further spread mana into the universe. Towers are made as, well, you could think of them as mana batteries. They extract, produce, and refine mana endlessly. And the worlds inside. Their worlds inside were, well, qualified to be there. They belong to the gods inside the tower. Each god or group of gods controls one floor, which is a different world. They call these worlds Apex worlds, which were assimilated after a large multiversal competition. That's all I can say before they find me and kill me. I swear. I see. You're saying the truth too. I nodded. Good. You're a good little man. Obedient. Very well. Now, tell me, how can I benefit from this system? I found that there is this mana energy. It is surprisingly delicious, and it helps me replenish my primordial essence once I refine it with immortal essence. It's slow, but much faster than the traditional methods. If the system cannot be assimilated into your soul, it's impossible. Clyde, I am a fervent believer in the saying, nothing is impossible. Are you? My grip tightened within his body. By now, I could more or less guess he wasn't human. He was a strange being, composed of many tentacles and eyes. Yet he could not hurt me, no matter how hard he tried to free himself from my etheric grip. There might be a way, but, well, it won't reflect your abilities because you won't be assimilated. The system status that can be created will be more like a piece of equipment over you. It can grow stronger and give you more power, though. Is that okay for you? I am already reaching the limits of what I can do as an administrator. Merely doing such a thing would risk me getting fired. So please don't reveal this to anybody else. Okay, Tilda, got it. I smiled. A piece of equipment, isn't it? I love forging immortal relics, especially out of annoying old geezers that think they're superior to me because they lived a million years ago. I don't know what you're talking about, but just stay still. The mana energy that the system possessed encompassed me like a robe or a piece of armor. It didn't bind itself to my body or soul, but it was indeed with me, and I could even fold it and manipulate it. But for now, I left its invisible veil encompassing my body. Flash. Aho, this is wonderful. Well done, dear Clyde. I smiled. Ding. Due to the usage of their administrator's authority, you've been given a special privilege of the system. You are now able to access your personal status even without binding the system to your soul or body. Your personal system status can be controlled and unequipped as you please. Because your innate abilities cannot be assimilated, the system status will begin as a clean slate. But based on your actions and other things, it will develop rapidly. The stats and skills shown in the system status will not reflect your actual battle power, which cannot be properly measured by the system. However, any new stat, level up, or skill learned will add to your already existing power. Generating basic system status. Basic system status has been generated successfully. You received the title, the one who folded the system. You received the skill, Premium Player Privilege SSS, LV1. You have slain Green Goblin Barbarian E+ rank X57. Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. Your level has increased from level 0 to level 33/50. The Premium Player Privilege SSS, LV1 skill has been activated. You gain +10 mana per level and +5 to all other stats per level while being classless. Stat points and skill points earned per level are multiplied by 5. Once you reach max level,